Growing up in this household, we watched Little Mermaid all the time. My sister loved Ariel, and I would be like Flounder or Prince Eric or whoever, but she was always Ariel. At one point, she even dyed her hair red because she loved Ariel so much. I can't show you a picture because she would kill me. But let me just say, this movie is the definition of a classic Disney princess movie, and this movie's great. I love this movie. It's childhood memories. It is a founding of this household. I love this movie, and my sister loves it too. And in 2023, we are seeing a live-action remake.
Here's Johnny. My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates.
Expecto Patronum!
The Little Mermaid stars Halle Bailey, Jonah Hauer-King, and Melissa McCarthy. It's about a young mermaid makes a deal with a sea witch to trade her beautiful voice for human legs so she can discover the world above the water and impress a prince. From director Rob Marshall, who gave you Mary Poppins Returns, Into the Woods, and Chicago, comes The Little Mermaid, the live-action version. And listen, there's been a bunch of Disney live-action remakes. I enjoyed the live-action Aladdin. I liked the Cinderella movie. I liked the Jungle Book. I even liked the little movie Cruella. No one ever talked about Cruella. But the Disney live-action remakes have had big misses. When it comes to Little Mermaid, I was nervous because, like I said, I grew up with that original movie. I was intrigued to see this movie, and people want to talk about how Ariel is going to be played by a black girl. Oh my god, the end of the world! That is the most stupidest shit I've ever heard, and watching this movie tonight, I can tell you, no one could play Ariel better than Halle Bailey, because this movie brought back that Disney magic, and I had a great time with it. The biggest praise is Halle Bailey as Ariel. Her voice is magical. It is the definition of a Disney princess voice. It is so good in this movie. She is so good as Ariel. I loved everything about her. She did a great job when she loses her voice and doing facial acting. She did a very good job with that, and obviously when she does sing, it's really nice to hear. And the guy who plays Prince Eric, I forget his name, but he's good in this movie because they actually had a great little chemistry. It was a cute relationship. I enjoyed that. I was shocked how much I liked him because like growing up I was like, it's Prince Eric, who cares? Ariel's where it's at. This movie, I'll give it to you. Prince Eric and her work together so good, and you want them to kiss before that sunset on that third day. But obviously, down under the sea is where you get all of our creatures, all of our fish, and yes, it's live action, so Flounder looks like a real fish. And you know what, Jacob Tremblay, you're fine in the role, but you're not my Flounder. That is a normal fish. It looked a little weird, but it's okay. Then we got David Diggs as Sebastian. Almost a scene stealer for me because he was great. Under the Sea by him was so damn good. I really enjoyed his performance, his voice performance. Awkwafina, she's Awkwafina. I mean, honestly, there's not a lot to say. She's Awkwafina. I like her in the role, but it is Awkwafina. So mostly everybody in this movie is really good. There's one person I want to talk about. Melissa McCarthy as Ursula. Standout. So good. And honestly, if there's going to be someone out there who's going to hate her performance, I don't see how. Honestly, she was born to play Ursula. She was so good in this movie. The crackle, the laugh, the evil despair. I mean, she was Ursula. I loved her in this movie. I loved a lot of people in this movie. There's one performance we'll get to, but everyone in this movie is great, and Halle Bailey is, of course, the standout as Ariel. Her voice, just everything about her. Now, this is a Disney production, and there is so much going on in this movie. This movie took years to make, probably. There was a lot of work put in this movie. So production, costuming, all of that looks really good on land, a lot of that stuff. Rob Marshall, I'll give it to you, my guy. You've done amazing work with musicals, live theater performances, and obviously what you've done with Chicago, Mary Poppins, Into the Woods. But that little Pirates movie, that one sucked. But Rob Marshall is a good director when it comes to this stuff, and I think he did a great job bringing Disney magic with just little elements of performances by each actor, the movement of characters, the movement of the camera, going into this journey of this princess who is trying to get onto land. It's a really nice story. It's got a lot of meanings to it, and they explore a lot of that in this movie, more than the original movie. Now, the original movie is a cartoon and it's hand-drawn, so there's more expression, there's more you could do with, like, Flounder. He looks great in more in the animated movie. This movie, it's live action. So there's stuff in this movie it can't compare to the original movie, so I really applaud what they did, what they can, and what they explored with the characters, and the actual meaning of her getting on land is different than the original. More than just her exploring Prince Eric. It's more about going up there, learning about everything. I like the changes in this movie, and that is what we want in these live-action remakes. We want changes while also expressing the original story, and it's there, and this movie does that. But this movie is not perfect, and the biggest thing I gotta say is the CGI. I'll say this, it looks so much better than on your iPhones. On the big screen, looks a lot better. Under the sea stuff, the colors, really vibrant stuff. But there are shots in this movie, it is so bad looking, and I'm just gonna be honest. There are shots, and it has to do with the actor's face on the bodies being all CGI, under the sea water, the hair movements, and all that being wet and everything. There's some stuff, it just doesn't work, especially in the third act. And if you've seen the original Little Mermaid Disney movie, then you know how that movie ends and what the big climatic action scene is. That's in this movie, and they do it in a way where they're not trying to show off a lot of CGI, but they are, and it's not the greatest, and this third act is a little bit clunky, I will say. I still had fun watching it, the soundtrack, the score, the intensity of the movie, like, it was there, but just watching it, you're like, that is CGI, they are on a green screen, they're on a wire right now. But again, it's little things like that, and there's stuff in the animated movie that they can do animated, and live action they can't really do. They're gonna have to work with what they got. And I expressed they did a good job for what they could do. Again, Flounder, prime example. And another thing, one thing I want to talk about, Javier Bardem. Okay, great actor, Oscar-winning actor, amazing. What was this in this movie? He had one stone-cold performance. Every line delivery was the same for him. I am going to say this is one of his worst performances I have ever seen him in, without a doubt. No question. There's scenes where he's underwater, it's very CGI looking, and then when he's out of the water, you're like, oh, this is definitely like, they're in a soundstage pool and you can tell. But like, his performance was awful. Like trash. Awful. And to add in that little factor, I will say some of the new music, it's hit or miss. The Lin-Manuel Miranda one, the one that has Awkwafina and David Diggs, I did not care for at all. It felt like Lin-Manuel Miranda, which isn't bad, because he's a great writer and great entertainer. But that song, I was like, no. There's a few others I'm like, eh. But the original classics, like, I mean, it's amazing stuff with Halle Bailey when she's singing. And all the classic Little Mermaid songs, thumbs up. Overall, I was really shocked how much I liked this movie. Again, I went in excited to see a new version of Little Mermaid, because again, I grew up with the original, but with this movie, I was just scared about certain things they were going to ruin, because all live action remakes have some type of like issue they're doing with Disney. This one had Disney magic, and I don't give a flying fuck if Halle Bailey is a black woman. She was great as Ariel, and I loved her in this role, and I loved every performer in this movie except for Javier Bardem. Everyone fit their part. The score, the music, the production, the entertainment value, the Disney magic is there. This is arguably the best live-action Disney remake they've done, in my opinion, and it's really one I would like to go see again, honestly. I had a great time with this movie. I will give The Little Mermaid a B+. So now the obvious question is, what is your favorite live-action Disney remake they've done? There's been quite a few, actually. And like I said, I liked that Cinderella movie. It came out very early on. The Jungle Book, Cruella, Pete's Dragon, and now, honestly, this one might top my list. But I gotta see them all again, but I enjoy Little Mermaid. I really don't care. I mean, if you hate it and you think I'm stupid, go right ahead. I don't care. I liked this movie. But I would love to see your opinion down below. If you hate this movie, let me know why you think it's trash. I would love to know. And if you guys enjoyed this movie review, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.